Hello, I'm going to sing a traditional Spanish language carol called Los Peces en el Río, or The Fish in the River. It's a carol that's widely heard in Spain and Latin America at Christmas time. And the words on the surface describe or paint a very peaceful picture of the Virgin Mary just after the birth of the baby Jesus. The verses talk about, there are 3 verses. First, how she walks alone with no other company than the baby holding her hand. The second, how she combs her hair with a fine silver comb. And the third describes how she washes the clothes of the little baby and hangs them to dry in the rosemary bush while the birds sing and the rosemary blooms. All the while, as the chorus repeats, the fish drink and drink in the river to celebrate the arrival of God. The instrument I'm going to use is, I know it as a rana huiro. It's commonly found in many different Latin American countries, but I don't think that it's exclusive to Latin America. And this is the sound it makes. La Virgen va caminando solita, no tiene más compañía que el niño de su manita. Pero mira cómo beben los peces en el río, pero mira cómo beben por ver al Dios nacido. Beben y beben y vuelven a beber los peces en el agua por ver a Dios nacer. La Virgen se está peinando entre cortina y cortina. Sus cabellos son de oro y el peine de plata fina. Pero mira cómo beben los peces en el río, pero mira cómo beben por ver a Dios nacido. Beben y beben y vuelven a beber los peces en el río por ver a Dios nacer. La Virgen está lavando y tendiendo en el romero los pajaritos cantando y el romero floreciendo. Pero mira cómo beben los peces en el río, pero mira cómo beben por ver a Dios nacido. Beben y beben y vuelven a beber los peces en el río por ver a Dios nacer.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to what promises to be a fabulous service this morning. At this time, when we face the second wave of this pandemic and the restrictions introduced to curb its impact, we once again have to draw strength and inspiration from this, our beloved community. I certainly do. And I'm constantly in awe of our enablers who draw us together, albeit through the rapid adoption and application of computer technologies, or through their amazing musical skills that transport us from deep emotion to toe-tapping happiness, or through their leadership and the words of wisdom and compassion that are such important elements of our procedures and rituals. It is certainly a time to cherish the value of community and maintain our links to one another by whatever means possible. Whoever you are, whoever you love, wherever you are on your journey of faith or search for meaning, you are truly welcome. If you're visiting or connecting for the first time, or for the first time in a long time, know that we are most grateful to have you with us. We come together in beloved community to grow in wisdom, welcome and deepen relationships, and act for a just and sustainable world. My name is Alex Schumacher, and I have the privilege of serving on your board of trustees. I am a committed Unitarian, and I hope my opening words sufficiently expressed my belief in continuing to be so. We acknowledge that this meeting takes place on the traditional territories of the people of the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations of the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta. The city of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. We acknowledge that we are all treaty people. I now invite the Reverend Deborah to light our chalice.
Deep calls unto deep, joy calls unto joy, light calls unto light. Let the kindling of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of love, of peace, of hope. And as one flame lights another, yet grows no less, we pledge ourselves to be bearers of the light wherever we are. With these words, I light our chalice. Now, we light again the candle of hope as we hold fast to hope's patient possibilities, lifting them high that they might catch the light of our dreams and shine bright in our broken world. These are our Advent candles. And we light again the peace candle, that we inspire the world with peace, touching it into our lives, that in every place of stress, frustration, or fear, we might feel the presence of peace, easing our hearts, transforming our lives. And today's third Advent candle is for joy. As this season of sparkle and bright unfolds around us, the transforming wonders of joy await discovery, like shimmering sugar crystals on a favorite treat. May we create joy in all our surroundings as we share our presence however we can, and the simple pleasures that we have with family and friends. May the easy gift of a smile bring the power of joy's touch to those we connect with through these busy days. And may we experience the joy of this season as though with the eyes and hearts of children, that we might be transfixed by the power of what could be. I now light the Advent candles of hope, peace, and joy. It is that time of year, and while we may not be able to celebrate and participate with our usual traditions, perhaps this is a year to create some new ones. as we figure out ways to connect without physical presence. This morning is an example, a virtual intergenerational service. The vision of our wonderful Director of Religious Education, Sheila McMaster, and brought to us by many helping hands. The many contributors, the ever awesome AV team of Mitch and Hendrik today in studio, and Bob, who will polish and post to our YouTube channel. And a very special shout out to Ev's PowerPoint finesse, so ably supported by Meady. We are such a resilient community, and while spirits may feel low at times, we have each other, at least in these limited ways. May the smiles and giggles you experience during this service, and I know there will be many, I chuckled through most of our prelude, may these help you through. May the joy of this season find creative ways to be expressed by each and every one of us. In many ways, as Sheila McMaster has offered us this morning, and over to you, Sheila.
Thank you, Deborah. I'm really enjoying our matching hats this morning. And, as Olaf says, happy, merry, holly, jolly season's greetings here. I'm wondering what your family does this time of year. Love and joy and peace on earth and tidings of good cheer. Do you have tradition things for that time of year? And on this cold, wintry day, I'm so happy to see all of you as we're sharing our traditions. One song that I find myself always humming that is full of winter imagery is the Christmas song. It's as much part of secular Christmas celebrations as eggnog and mistletoe. That said, it was written when sensibilities were a little different. In the summer of 1945, the planet's largest concern was finding the conclusion to World War II, and thoughts of respect and rights of First Peoples were still several decades away. Nowadays, the word Eskimo is considered a colonial name imposed by non-Indigenous people, and Inuit is the current term across the Arctic, preferred by the Inuit Circumpolar Council. And I highlight this just as part of our anti-racism work that we do. As we go into our traditions, we want to highlight the context to everything. Still one of my favorite songs. And now over to Mitch Mitchell singing the Christmas song.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase for kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you, Mitch. That was lovely. And now I want to share with all of you for our centering time a poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, The Children's Hour. And I have the words will come up on your screen. It's part of our being inclusive so that you can follow along if you wish, or sit back, close your eyes, and enjoy this poem that to me brings about all the joy of this season. And well written a long time ago, I think this encapsulates exactly how children are, whether you have children or grandchildren or nieces or nephews. I think you'll recognize in this poem. The Children's Hour. Between the dark and the daylight, when the night is beginning to lower, comes a pause in the day's occupations that is known as the Children's Hour. I hear in the chamber above me the patter of little feet, the sound of a door that is opened, and the voices soft and sweet. From my study, I see in the lamplight, descending the broad hall stair, grave Alice and laughing Allegra, and Edith with the golden hair. A whisper, then silence. Yet I know by their merry eyes they are plotting and planning together to take me by surprise. And a rush from the stairway, a sudden raid from the hall, by 3 doors left unguarded, they enter my castle wall. And they climb up into my turret or the arms and back of my chair. If I try to escape, they surround me. They seem to be everywhere. They almost devour me with kisses, their arms about me entwine, till I think of the Bishop of Bingen in his mouse tower on the Rhine. Do you think, old blue-eyed banditti, because you have scaled the wall, such an old mustache as I am, is not a match for you all? I have you fast in my fortress, and will not let you depart, but put you in the dungeon in the round of my heart. And there will I keep you forever, yes, forever and a day, till the walls shall crumble to ruin and molder in dust away.
On these Sunday mornings, when we gather together, we take time to acknowledge joys, sorrows, concerns, and milestones in our midst and in the wider world. We take this time for we know what touches one of us is felt by us all, and that through the sharing, we can ease our concerns and sorrows and magnify our joys. There are so many concerns these days. As we see COVID numbers rising, and probably each and every one of us now has someone we know who has either recovered or is suffering with the virus. As the numbers climb and we now have the opportunity to be able to contribute to leveling that curve through our own actions, it is a great concern for us to not be with our family, to not gather in physical contact, yet there's so many ways we can connect. And I invite you to know that even sending out the energy of connection makes a difference. We will be having a Blue Christmas service this Thursday evening for those who are particularly feeling the concerns and sorrows at this time. There are folks in our congregation who are suffering with illness. To them, we send our hopes for a speedy recovery. There are many who have lost jobs and income, whose housing is gotten more precarious. We hold all of these people knowing that it does make a difference that we name them, that we honor them, that we recognize these concerns. For those spoken aloud, and I also invite you, if you have a particular concern, to speak it aloud as I light our candle of concern. And there are, of course, joys in our community as well. It cannot be otherwise. One of the greatest joys was our Friday night concert. And not only that, if you weren't able to be there in person on Friday night, it is on our website. And the hits on that concert are just amazing. I think getting close to 500 people have now watched it. One of the other joys will be this afternoon to actually see each other in person, at least some of us, as we do our mitten tree drop-off. More about that later. There are birthdays, there are anniversaries, there are celebrations. And one of the joys that I'm particularly feeling is myself and your Board of Trustees President Jane Ebern will be cooking up turkey dinner and having it available for those who might otherwise not have it. Please consider joining us on Christmas Day for our Christmas Day potluck dinner, sort of. More details in the e-news. So many joys, looking out at the lights, connecting with each other as we can. You'll have some personal joys, and I invite you to speak them aloud or hold them in the silence of your heart as I light our candle of joy. The third candle of care that we light each week is a global candle. And today I light the global candle in recognition of Hanukkah, the Jewish celebration of light, the celebration of miracles, and the power of faith to fuel the light. The Hanukkah menorah is on our chalice table in respect and in recognition of the Jewish traditions that inform our own faith. Because the candles are to be lit in a specific way, and because we are in the middle of the 8-day celebration that began last Friday and continues until next Friday, the candles are present, though unlit. Their potential is with us. And for this we are grateful, and for this we light our global candle. Now, we're not together, and we have been trying to figure out ways that the traditions of this community can be lived out. One of the traditions that was here long before me and that I just cherish and treasure is the mitten tree. Now, were we together at this point, there would be rows upon rows of people coming forward to hang mittens and hats and scarves on our Christmas tree. We can't do that today, and yet I know that there is incredible generosity and the longing for people to be able to do so. So this afternoon between 2 and 3, if you have an offering for the mitten tree, we invite you to drive by the congregational building. Because of the change in protocols, it won't be so much a celebration as an offering, an opportunity for you to express your generosity. Please be sure to wear masks. Stay in your car. Put the bags for both the mitten tree or the food bank in your trunk. And as you drive by, just pop your trunk and we'll take the bags out. And we also have a little bag that we'll put in there for you. We are going to really limit the number of people that are there. So you'll see me and Jane Perry. We'll be waving and so happy to see those who can make it. Please remember to come between 2 and 3. Those picking up co-op cards between 2 and 2:30, please come first. Others come if you can at 2:30. We'll do it as succinctly and carefully as we can, and we hope to see many of you. Speaking of generosity of this community, you know that we were sponsoring a family of 8 with the hopes of raising $700 to make their Christmas a little better. Not only was that met, it was doubled. There was $1,430 donated for our family. Just imagine the Christmas that's going to mean for them now. And so as we hold all of this generosity in our hearts and know that it is our contributions of time as well as our finances that sustain this community, this will be our offering time. The how to contribute will appear, and Jane will play a couple of verses of O Mitten Tree. And then we get to sing the song. Over to you, Jane.
Oh, mitten tree, the winter wind is biting. Oh, mitten tree, the winter wind is biting. Against the cold, warm gifts we bring to deck your branches as we sing. Oh, mitten tree, the winter wind is biting. as you stay green through winter snow. Oh, mitten tree, help us to help each other.
As we share family traditions, I wanted to just offer one that has continued on in my family. As a single mom with little children, I tried to figure out ways for Christmas morning to be exciting for them and for me. So as soon as my children were old enough to be able to push the button on the coffee machine, they knew they could make me a coffee and bring it and their stockings to my bed. And this has become a tradition for us, coffee and stockings in bed. And now that they're older, I see it happening with their own children as well. That first there is time just to be together and unwrap the stockings. Another little tradition that shifted for us, though, is that I always used to put one of those chocolate oranges that you smack and separate in my kids' stockings, but they stopped liking that, and now they always want a package of Imperial cheddar cheese. A couple of our family traditions, and now to Sheila to share some more.
Well, hey, Deborah, I love those traditions. That sounds really nice. And it's interesting how things that for us, we start simply, and then for our children become absolute traditions. I think one thing that happened to us a couple of years ago is we got a pickle to hide in our tree. And I thought, a pickle, that is the weirdest thing I have ever heard of. And yet, every Christmas, my daughter hides the pickle in the tree, and the first person who finds it gets to open the first gift. And it's become a tradition. And for her, it has always happened. It is always a tradition. It will always be a tradition. And now we have the Christmas pickle. And I really enjoy that. And that's Morgan now saying hi. And she loves the Christmas pickle. But now I have some other traditions that people have sent in to share with all of you. And here is Lynn saying, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And we have Judy, Dana, and Gabrielle Wolowich-Negri, and they write in, Happy Solstice, Merry Christmas, and a peaceful and new year filled with good health and love of family and friends. Hugs and love. And next is Kenzie and Louie, wishing everyone a happy holidays. And we have Ned, Charlene, and Charlene's mother, Ada, and they write in, we made a Filipino Christmas lantern called a parol. And I've heard that Charlene has done an amazing job with all of her decorations this year. And next we have Heather Walker. She says, my family tradition has always been to try new traditions. I wasn't much for getting tons of gifts for the kids, so the oldest two got homemade, workshop-made dolls and dollhouses and hobby horses. Later on, the twins had a daycare with a huge yard and all the riding equipment they could ever need and tons of friends and 4 or 5 gymnasiums, so we didn't do big toy celebrations during those years either. When the twins reached adulthood, we turned our giving to giving away, and we're so grateful that we're able to support my Unitarian community here and the Flaming Chalice International. So 2020, with all the events and intense studies I'm doing, seems like a really good year to embrace Chalika. So starting December 7th for 7 days, I love new traditions. And Heather's been making some really great projects here. And Heather cut open this beet last week, and if you can see it, it has the Chalika symbol and the flaming chalice inside the beet. So how's that for a Christmas Chalika miracle? Oh, who is this? We got sent in a picture of a Christmas elf and Mrs. Claus. Very nice. And this tree belongs to Yoset, David, Camilla, and Gigi. And Yoset writes in, Feliz Navidad. She says, we are from Guatemala, and in Guatemala what we do is meet on December 24th for a big Christmas Eve party. We chat, we dance, and we do karaoke. All the family, cousins, and neighbors get together. We have all these goodies like tamales and stuffed chickens, and the kids play around and have gifts, and we stay up until midnight. And at midnight, we have a Christmas hug and best wishes for everyone, and the kids open their gifts. At midnight, we also go outside and there are fireworks. And afterwards, we continue with the karaoke and dancing. And my family in particular, cousins and aunts, are so fun to be with, and we miss that. In the morning, we go to the beach, a white Christmas, a white sand Christmas, and we enjoy the whole day there and bring leftovers from the night before. It's fun and we love it and continue the traditions here in Canada, being up till midnight and opening gifts the next morning. We changed the tradition a little because of the weather, and our Christmas is now the kind we used to see in movies. Now it's a real white Christmas. We are blessed and we keep being grateful for family. Feliz Navidad. And now a lovely holiday video from Sabrina and Taryn as they make cookies.
Howdy. Action. This is where we talk. So I'm Sabrina. This is Jenny, and I'm Karen. Jenny's wearing her Christmas finery sweater. She is putting in her complaints to the wardrobe department here momentarily. She doesn't like red sweaters at all, but she's got them. Yeah. So from the Del Band house, we were supposed to share a Christmas tradition. We are not poets or musicians like the Gaudet Heralds. I don't know if we're following them or preceding them, but we can't live up to that. But what I do is I cook, and I do a lot of baking, and I like to make cookies, as everybody does. This one liked to make a lot of cookies and ice them at Christmas time, so that was always a favorite. So this year we thought we would share a cookie recipe with you. I'll pass it along to Sheila. It's for it's a story cookie. Oh boy, story cookie. It's a nice chocolate base, and you can add whatever you want. So that's why I like to do it. I find some really good recipes, and then when they work, I just twist them up a little bit and make them fit the occasion. So this one is my hot chocolate COVID. Well, I don't want to call it COVID cookie because that makes it sound like it's got the virus. COVID times. Let's just call it a hot chocolate cookie. I've got some marshmallows. It's got chocolate. It's got white chocolate chunks in it. And what's the twist? It's got a peppermint twist. It's got a peppermint twist. We crushed up some candy canes in it, and that'll help us all enjoy the season a little bit more. So like you can see my lovely creation here, and I hope that you guys can make some cookies with your loved ones. Since we're not getting out and visiting each other, we'll be visiting each other a lot. We'll be tired of each other, I'm sure. Yeah. Hey. Oh, like you weren't tired of me. Hey, at least I didn't make you wear a sweater like the dog. You were going to. Close. You were gonna beam it. Anyways, happy holidays to everybody from the Del Band household, and we'll turn it back to you, Sheila.
Thanks, Sabrina. And for everyone who would love that recipe, it's in this week's CYRE Children and Youth newsletter. So if you need a reason to subscribe, this is it. But I will also send the cookie recipe out in next week's e-news so we can all enjoy it. And now I want to turn things over to Jane to share some of her holiday traditions. Jane?
Well, I have to say, I feel a little hungry after looking at that really good-looking cookie. Food's really important for us. Cora and I both love to cook, so we're in the kitchen making up a bunch of food on Christmas, and then we hunker down with that food and a hot cup of tea, maybe with a little something in it, and watch our favorite holiday movies. So that includes the classics, right? Like It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, the original, come on. And a movie that some of you may not have heard of. It's a 1947 film called The Bishop's Wife, which features Cary Grant as an angel named Dudley, who comes to Earth to help a family through that's going through kind of a tough time. The father in this family happens to be the local Anglican bishop, and that's David Niven. So check it out if you haven't seen it before. Traditions, though, that are going on right now in our Calgary Unitarians community include carol singing. We had a wonderful carol sing with the Coffee Choir last Tuesday, and this coming Thursday, Euphonia gets its chance as well. One of the carols that was requested this last week was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And this is a song, there are a lot of threads running through this song, and one of the threads is the idea that every single one of us has a gift. Something that we can do better than just about anybody else around us. Now, these gifts are not always obvious. Sometimes they're not really seen until there's a situation that arises that calls for them. And this is the situation in this next carol, and I invite you to sing it with me, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Here come the lyrics.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw him, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you lead my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history.
Hi, I'm Michael.
I'm Leia.
I'm Kit.
And every Christmas, what do?
We go and chop down a Christmas tree.
Like this one. And what else?
We also have friends over for Christmas Eve.
And we also eat halva, which is a Middle Eastern sesame seed dish, which is very strange because I have no Middle Eastern background, but it comes from my family from back in the foothills.
Every year in the Kasner household, we have a Christmas tradition where we get an ornament to signify that year's Christmas. We've been doing it since 2004, the year that I was born, and we do it all the way to 2020. This is this year's. It's a dinosaur with our cat, Sergeant Pepper. This is going to be her second Christmas with us. But we have a wide variety from angels to little metal ones, and with cats on them. This is from 2007. So yeah, that's our Christmas tradition, is getting ornaments.
Hey everyone, I'm Jacob. I teach the elementary class, and one winter tradition that my family and I have is every year during normal winter times, we used to have a sleigh ride. So we'd all pack on the back of a horse-drawn carriage and sing Christmas carols. A few years ago, we transitioned to just having a sleigh ride party, where we all got together and sing Christmas carols anyway and have food and had a good time together.
So speaking of sleigh rides, let's sing a song together that's all about being on a sleigh ride. This particular song happens to have been written by a Unitarian, James Pierpont, in the 1850s. So let's sing together, Jingle Bells!
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ho, ho, ho. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Thank you so much, Jane. I feel very festive after all that singing. That was wonderful. And as Olaf says, oh, happy, merry, Yuletide barrels, faithful glass of cheer. Thanks for sharing what you do at that time of year. And a big thank you to all of you who sent in pictures and videos and for letting us into your hearts and homes. And as another way to say thank you, I've entered everyone who contributed to today's big service into a draw for a special holiday surprise. Drum roll, please, Jane. All right, who could it be? Let's find out. The winner is going to receive a $20 co-op gift card to make their holiday merry and bright. Who is it? It is Kenzie and his dog, Louie. Congratulations, Kenzie. And during this time apart, I hope today has helped us feel just a little bit closer and perhaps inspired the start of some new traditions. And I want to wish everyone a happy holiday and a happy new year, although I will see you next week once again. And now to Deborah as we extinguish our chalice.
I told you there would be lots of giggles and smiles. And thank you. It will sustain me too, and keep me hopefully somewhat warm on this very chilly day as we'll be outside. As we extinguish the flame, it now glows within us, the inner light of love, of peace, of hope, reminding us of our pledge to be bearers of the light wherever we are. With these words, I extinguish our chalice. And I believe that one of the possible new traditions might be, remember when we were kids, sometimes we'd ring a doorbell and run away? Well, how about doing that a little differently?
Ring the bell, leave it on the mat. You can get all kinds of treats, even for your cat. Hey! Ring the bell, delivery is here. Although we are all quarantined, we'll spread holiday cheer. Woohoo! During this pandemic, you need lots of self-care. You can go for walks, in singles or in pairs. Or if you're feeling cold, you can snuggle up. Put on Tunes or Disney Plus and turn the volume up. Hooray! Oh, we miss you, oh, we wish you well. We're sending a big hug. Please enjoy some cozy treats in your favorite mug. Yeehaw!
Thank you to Lisa and Ruby and Ben for that video. Now, those coffee cups remind me, hey, it's time for us to go to our coffee hour together. Now, to get there, what you need to do is to click on the red button that says Leave Meeting, and the next screen that will pop up in your browser has a purple coffee mug. Just click on that mug and that'll take you to the coffee hour. Or you could just follow the elf